Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. And today, we're going to be doing whether Crystal Palace will do quite well next season and take everyone by surprise. So, yes, guys, if you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. We're on the road to 400 subs. Let's get there as soon as possible. And yes, guys, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Fearless. So first of all, we're going to talk about the new manager that has came in, Patrick Vieira, obviously an Arsenal legend. A very good player for Arsenal. He was obviously maybe not, I might have not seen him during my time, but he's picked up a 4-year deal at Crystal Palace. And I think everyone's first impression when he came to the club was he's inexperienced.
Relegation.
Relegation.
His past jobs, obviously, his past job was with Nice from 2018 to 2020. Obviously, he got sacked. He didn't do too well in Nice, and he might be worrying for Palace fans, but obviously, what is quite exciting is the transfers that he's pulled into the club.
Yeah, so obviously, he has gone on a 4-year deal, which means there's definitely a lot of time for him to change the club around. Because I think with Crystal Palace, before
they've not really progressed.
They're just like a mid-table club, not maybe fighting for Europa League or now maybe Conference League spots. They're just in that mid-table spot or bottom half, really. Not really changing or trying to get further up the table. But
no
obviously
improvement, really.
no improvement really. But they have made some really key signings this season. We'll go through these now. The main four that I've seen: Mark Guehi. Have I said that wrong?
Guehi.
Yeah. Sorry for
5-year deal.
That. Yeah, 5-year deal for £21.5 million. Not too bad for. Was he a 23-year-old? I think.
Yeah, around that age. Obviously, he's smashed it in the Championship, and he's done very, very well.
Who was he on loan with the Championship?
Swansea.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. The next centre back they've signed is Joachim Anderson. Joachim Anderson. Sorry for mispronouncing them. Obviously he was very good for Fulham, although with Fulham obviously getting relegated, but he did shine in the relegation side. He signed for 15.75 million from Lyon. I think were Leicester interested in him at some point.
Yeah, we were. A lot of clubs were really. You had Tottenham interested as well. You had a few top clubs like that, and West Ham.
It just shows there that he would rather go to Crystal Palace than Tottenham.
I think he's more promised game time at Palace.
Yeah. So. Fair enough. Yeah. But then to be fair, most of or obviously Tottenham did, or one of their centre backs left was Alderweireld. Yeah,
Alderweireld. But at the time Spurs were interested, they didn't have a manager, and it looked a bit of a mess. So you'd rather go to Palace in that sort of situation.
Yes. Obviously the next one they've got Michael Elise. I think that's how I pronounce it. Elise, okay. From Reading for 8.37 million. Again, quite a good deal. And the final one, the most recent one actually, Conor Gallagher on loan. Obviously, he was there from West Brom, wasn't he? Yeah, he played for West Brom last season. Chelsea. And he did quite well last season. Obviously, West Brom, I think the second half of the season, they did better. Obviously, he still got relegated, but he definitely did shine. So, when you look at those four players overall, they have spent quite a lot of money for a mid-table club or bottom half club. Yeah. It definitely shows that the owners have put the money, have given the money to Patrick Vieira. They spent around 45 million, which quite good that is at the moment. And
it's quite good, and it's young players as well. It's sort of the next generation. When you got a player in Anderson, you know he's going to be solid. You're not too worried about him because you see him. He's Premier League proven. He did it for fun. You've got Guehi. I mean, I'm sure he'll be good because obviously he's a good prospect and did very well at Swansea. He was highly rated by Chelsea, but Chelsea kind of need to raise those funds for a player like Haaland or maybe someone else they're going for, but. At least, I mean, you've got to take one look at him and his stats. You will know he'll be good for the future. And it seems like he's going to have quite an important role. He's their new number 7, so that's going to be very, very good for him. And probably a pulling factor, really. If you want him to join, he probably had other clubs interested in him. So Vieira might have thrown in, you can have the number 7 shirt. And Gallagher, we all know he did very well in the Premier League for West Bromwich Albion. So he'll be a solid player for them. He's the type of player that is going to be very, very hard working for Palace, which is what they need.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Midfield 2 with Riedewald.
Yeah, definitely. And I think over time, if they do want to sell some of these players, I think they
get a lot more money than they put them in for.
But they could, I think personally, they could get twice the amount of money that they've paid for it. So around 90 million for those three.
I don't really see like someone like Anderson leaving unless they get relegated or something. Because I feel like Anderson's a player that will settle there, and he'll be a bit more loyal than maybe the likes of Gurhey, who might have more ambition to go to the top and a bit more potential than someone like Anderson.
Enough. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe with Gallagher, he might make a permanent deal. Crystal Palace might spend the money, but I think at the moment,
I think if I was Gallagher, and I think if Palace stayed up and they did well, and he doesn't really have a future with Chelsea, I'd probably sign for Crystal Palace 1,000.
Fair enough. But we'll go to the outs now. There's 4 that have gone to clubs, and then a couple that have just been released and haven't got a club currently. Townsend has gone to Everton. I think it was at around £2 million. I think it was.
Yeah,
it was quite a weird one when I saw it, because I thought for Everton, for a club like Everton to sign a player like him, like he's an okay player.
You see like okay players, but they do need that sort of squad depth in that position. Like it's an all right player, definitely not a starter, but it's all right for off the bench or cup games. And Everton do need that sort of squad depth, and I feel like every club challenger for Europe does need that. Leicester, all these clubs challenger for the top 6, they need wider squad depth, just like the big 6 clubs. So it's a way of challenging and trying to get into that top 6. So I think it's a few decent signs from Everton and that sort of thinking.
Fair enough. The next player they've released and gone to another club is Van Aanholt. Has gone to Galatasaray. He wasn't a bad player, Van Aanholt, but they don't really need him.
He wasn't a bad player. He just had a bad season last year.
Yeah,
and it was the end of his contract, so he left.
Yeah, fair enough. The next one, Mamadou Sakho, obviously a former Liverpool player. He's gone to Montpellier in the French league. I think that's how Yeah. And then obviously the last one that's gone to a club is Wayne Hennessy, who's gone to Burnley. Not a bad,
very Burnley signing, isn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a Burnley signing, isn't it? He's not a foreign player. Someone obviously he's Welsh, so pretty much a Burnley signing. But the players that have got released and haven't found a club at the moment: James McCarthy, Nathaniel Klein, obviously former Liverpool player; Gary Cahill, obviously a former Chelsea player; and Scott Dan. But when you obviously look at those, the players that they've sold at the moment, they're all old players. Obviously, there's still maybe a couple still in the squad, but obviously there maybe Patrick Vieira might see something with those players. Obviously, you got your
you do need
James
experience.
Tompkins.
You players like Joel Ward as well, Tompkins and you Guaita and goal. So you do need those older players with Benteke up front. So they've still got plenty of older players, but obviously do need that little leadership in the team as well, which I feel like Palace might be sort of missing in that side. But we'll have to wait and see how they line up.
Yeah, fair enough. But looking at those 8 players, I think it was, they've got an average age of 32 that's all left. So it kind of shows that they are selling that deadwood. And there's kind of a new start for Crystal Palace, bringing in some younger players in. Obviously, you were saying about how experience could be a big factor, but I think they've got the experience and they've also got some of the younger players as well. So it's a bit of a balance at the moment. Maybe a couple more experienced players, maybe one or two more signings that could go into squad depth that experienced and that. But I think definitely for Crystal Palace next season. Obviously, we both put our predictions. I think it was a couple of weeks ago now. I predicted them 15th. You predicted them 12th. I think I've kind of not overestimated. I don't know really. Underestimated them. I've put them. Obviously I put them in 15th. You put them in 12th.
Who knows really?
I could change
I think it's kind of between the two. I feel like that they'll finish mid-table or they'll be in the relegation. I feel like it go either way really, but it's difficult to predict for Crystal Palace. A manager that's not done too well at recent jobs, but with players that are coming are very good. You don't know, to be honest.
So now we're going to actually talk about the squad itself. So Ryan, do you want to start us off with goalkeepers?
You've got very goalkeeper. You've got the more experienced one, Guaita. I think he's a very, very underrated goalkeeper in the Premier League. I think we all know that he makes some top save. I mean, Tottenham fans will know that when he played him. I think he did make a mistake, but he made some amazing saves as well. They've got quite a strong defence, They look quite good with it, whether it's Tompkins that starts or Gurhey and Anderson, we'll have to wait and see. But that partnership could be quite solid after a few games.
Got a left
back? It's a fresh new team. They've got Mitchell I think that's his name or something like that. So
Yeah, that
he's a
youngster.
really good prospect. So
And
yeah,
then
you've got
back,
Ward, who always
Ward.
does the job. It's Ward. He'll do the job every day of the week. He's just a solid player for Palace. He's been there for a good few years. Obviously, the midfield, as I said, Riedewald and Gallagher. I feel like it could be quite a solid partnership. You know, Riedewald is a pretty good player. Pretty cute player, you know, in terms of like on the ball and a few things like that. Gallagher as well, and I think, you know, that sort of front four where it could work with that Eze, Elise, Zaha, and Benteke. If Eze can do the job on the right, if he can't, you've got Jeff Schlupp, who's quality for Palace. So yeah, I think it's a really, really good sort of young sort of strike force. I think if you're Benteke, you'll be very happy to see Zaha behind you if he's still there. I think he will be. Elise behind you as well, a good young prospect, can learn a lot from Zaha. And Eze, a very, very tricky player and a very, very good player. That's
he'll be back soon.
Good prospects in the league. Yeah, he'll be back. I think it's in a good few months now. So I think they've still got, you know, Zaha and Elise are still good enough, and they can just put something on the right. But I think it's been good business so far from Palace. But you know, you can't just expect them to do well just because they've signed a few players. You know, there's many more things to that. You know, Vieira, with his legacy, all the players are going to want to, you know, impress him, and it's going to take a while for them to gel together. It's a good amount of signings. They're going to gel together and, you know, gain confidence. But some people do need to remember that, you know, just because they made a good few signings, it doesn't mean they're just going to suddenly play well. But, you know, Vieira's got to get the instructions, formation, tactics, and everything behind the scenes in training right. So there's a lot more. Unfortunately, it's not quite as simple as just as play FIFA. You just put your team out and you play. You know, there's a lot of things behind that. So I think Palace fans, I'll be quite sort of 50-50. You know, you've got a lot of good players coming in. You've got a good sort of team building around, a good 11, but at the same time, you're with an experienced manager, which you're not quite sure about with the sort of recent jobs and how he did at Nice, which Nice kind of just got worse and worse when he was there, and obviously he faced the sack. But we'll have to wait and see. But if I was a Palace fan, I'd be excited, but at the same time, we'll be quite nervous because you don't really want to flop with the amount of money you spent. You don't want to do a Fulham or something like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think when you actually look at if there's going to be any signings that are going to make, if I was Vieira, I'm thinking of someone experienced, maybe that can play left back,
get some experience,
and maybe can also play right back.
I think they'll be starting Mitchell as well. I don't think they need a right back. They definitely don't need a right back.
Oh yeah, they've got Joel Ward, but I think someone that could have a bit of versatility in that back four. Maybe, I don't know who they could sign. I know this would be very unrealistic. I think I saw they were linked with Kabak. I don't think they're going to sign him though.
That deal is broken down now because obviously Anderson now still won't be signing now. I mean, they've got rotation to play like Tompkins. So I don't think they really need Kabak, but it's a difficult situation with Kabak because obviously Schalke got relegated and the deals are broken down with other clubs, and Schalke are willing to actually release him completely because they can't afford his wages. So you got to feel bad for him because first he does well at Liverpool, doesn't get signed because they signed Konate, and then deals break down with other clubs, and then he could be released. So, and he can't even come to training even. So it's a difficult situation.
Yeah. So yes, guys, this is going to be the end of the video. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment below where you think Crystal Palace will finish. Do you think they may need to make a couple more signings here and there? As I was saying, maybe a left back or something. But yeah, comment below what your thoughts are on Crystal Palace at the moment. So yes, guys, it's going to be the end of the video. If you're new, make sure to like and subscribe. And yes, guys, we'll see you in the next one.